your level of success will never exceed your level of personal development, because success is something that you attract with the person that you become.
The most important thing of law of attraction that most people miss is the law of taking action. And you should have the visualization all the time. You should have a picture of what your goal is in your mind, but until you take action, nothing happens. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Stroke of Success. Here you are with your host, KB. Today's guest is very special, and I'll give you a little backstory about the gentleman I'm with here, Miguel. So, my previous brokerage, More Homes with Juan Venegas at Edison Moreno, amazing people. I love them to death. Especially Juan, he's like my baby brother. I got the opportunity to run into Miguel one time. Young kid, when you see him, you're like, well, probably he's in college or something. He's probably studying something. And then you find out his story. And then you see his IG. And then I met a few of his salespeople, actually, funny to say that. And the way they talk about him was like such an amazing, inspiring story. So I thought, you know what? Why not have him on Stroke of Success podcast and YouTube channel? And we'll take it from there. Welcome, Miguel. Thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure to be here, man. It's an honor, and thanks for the invite.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Miguel. So we have a mutual friend, Juan Venegas. He's amazing. Yeah, like you, he's young and talented. And so tell me, what country are you from?
I'm originally from Colombia.
Okay. What's Banaki, Medellin? What city?
I'm from Bogota, so I was born and raised in Bogota. And I came to United States when I was 17 to come to school, and then started my career here. But I was born and raised in Bogota, Colombia.
How old were you when you came to Florida?
So it's funny, man. I came to United States and I moved to a state that's called Arkansas. And every time that I tell somebody that I moved to Arkansas, it's like, Miguel, what's in Arkansas? Like, nobody moves to Arkansas from Colombia. It's 180-degree change.
Very different. Very different.
Yeah. So, but I did it on purpose. I did it on purpose. I knew I was going to come to Florida, but I wanted to immerse myself in United States and learn English, because I didn't speak English fully when I came here. So I did it on purpose. I had a really good friend that lived in Arkansas, and they work in Walmart. So Walmart was created in Bentonville, Arkansas. That's where I lived. And it was a great experience, challenging, very challenging for me. Again, different culture, different language, different weather, different food. Everything was different. I lived there 6 months, and then I moved to Florida right after. So I was 17, almost turning 18 when I moved to Florida.
Insane, bro. So you were about 18-ish when you came to Arkansas?
I was 17 when I came to Arkansas, and then I turned 18 that next year. Yeah.
So you stayed about a year in Arkansas?
I spent 7 months. Seven months in Arkansas. Yeah.
Here you are, a young, good-looking, handsome Colombian in Arkansas, doesn't speak any English. How was that, man? Like, was it racism? Would you get in trouble?
No, thanks God. Like, everyone was pretty supportive. I understood English. I went to a really good school in Colombia, so I had English classes like all my life. So I understood and spoke a little bit. But then you think you speak English in Colombia, and then you move here, and then you realize that you don't fully speak, So, but it was challenging, man. I don't get a lot of people asking me for that side of my story, but I think it's what created the foundation to be the person that I needed to be for the success that I was going to have after in my life. It was really challenging. It was the first time that I was alone, like fully alone for the first time in Colombia. I had my family, my friends, my life. And I think that was a blessing, man, because I realized that I was feeling a lot of emotional holes that I had with other people. I was utilizing other people to like fill emotional voids that I had. And then for the first time, I was by myself. and it was emotionally and spiritually really, really challenging. But it made me really, really strong. And the connection that I created with God over those 6 months was really, really good. So yeah, I became way more emotionally strong, spiritually strong, and started to trust a little bit more in myself, knowing my purpose in life and knowing what I wanted. So it was a lot of finding myself, and yeah, it was challenging, but it was definitely a blessing.
Miguel, how many years have you been in America for, United States of America?
I moved here 7 years now.
7 years in this country.
Yeah, actually, yeah, 7 years.
You're 25, 26?
I'm 23 right now.
Excuse me, how old are you?
23.
Wow.
I'm turning 24 this year.
Wow. I have to stop for a second. To my audience, I'm going to share something with you quickly. I hope everyone in my audience on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Music is going to take notes. Here's a gentleman at 17 came to America. I'll give you my story. At 17, I came from Brooklyn, New York to Miami, Florida. I'm born in America, right? I have all the resources in my hand.
Yeah.
They came to Miami, Florida, and I partied. I was doing the wrong things. I wasn't focused.
Yeah.
Here, how we have Miguel came from Colombia, beautiful Colombia, to Arkansas, hometown of, I think, Bill Clinton, former president. And he, instead of maybe doing bad stuff, and we'll get into that if he did or not, I don't know yet, but he connected even stronger, reconnected with his higher power.
Yeah.
He found himself, he realized he has some holes at 17, guys and ladies and gentlemen. That's something very profound. So, hey, man, kudos to you on that, Miguel.
Thank you.
So 17, so you come to Florida, you come to Orlando, straight to Orlando?
Yeah.
Okay. Who brought you to Orlando?
So I was living with one of my best friends at the time. Again, I knew I was gonna come to Florida. So the reason why we initially chose Orlando, I had family in Miami, but I really liked UCF, the university here in Orlando. So that's why we chose Orlando in the first time that we came to the state. And yeah, I came here and I went to school for 2 years, or dropped out of school, and I was studying business and finance. And then I believe school is amazing for some careers, but especially for my career, if I was studying business, I started a business after, right? So that was, for me, in my opinion, a better way of studying. And I rather invest a lot of my money, time, and attention in people that have done what I want to do in life, in business, versus just learning a lot of the technical side, but not the practical side of things. So yeah, and then I've been here since then.
So you have family in Orlando?
I do now. I didn't have then. My mom is here, my dad is here, but most of my family is still in Colombia. And then a lot of friends that I consider family by now.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Sorry, you say you got into school, you started with business, but you didn't complete the business degree?
Yeah, so I did my associate's degree, so that's the first 2 years. And then when I was transitioning to UCF to finish my
MBA.
degree, I had the business, that's when I started Sunbright and I started my solar career. But yeah, so just to take back the story to when I first came to Florida, I started a personal development path when I came to the States. So I started reading a lot of books. I started studying a lot of people, successful people, and I was focused, man. So you mentioned something interesting, and I believe that by me coming from a different country, especially a third world country, I realized how many opportunities there are here. And I knew that if I wanted to just have fun and party, I would have stayed in Colombia. But I knew that I had a big goal. I've always felt that I am the chosen one in my family, and I believe that my middle name is Angel, and the meaning of angel is messenger of God. So I believe that through me, God had a message for my family and the world in general. And I always had that big responsibility within me. And that's why I realized from a very, very young age that I wanted to become the best version of myself, not only for me, but for my people. My people deserve to see the best version of Miguel. Yeah, man, it's been a blessing. But one of the first books that I read that changed my life completely. It's called Rich Dad Poor Dad from Robert Kiyosaki.
I have it right here.
Yeah, it's amazing, and it switched my mindset, and it was probably the first book that inspired me to be an entrepreneur. And
what else? What other books got to you?
So in the beginning of my career, Think and Grow Rich.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, I read it 2 times, man, and both of the times it changed my life completely.
Incredible book.
I believe that I heard a saying from Ed Mylett, and I believe it's the same in business and in life. He says that business is not about saying new things to old people, but it's about saying old things to new people. So I believe that I reread Think and Grow Rich because instead of going to like 200 books, I rather just go deeper on the ones that have impacted my life. And it's crazy how the first time it changed my life, but the second time I was in a different stage in my life. So I took a lot of things that I didn't really understand in the first time that I read the book. So those 2 in the beginning changed my life, and then a lot of books about habits, so Atomic Habits, the Miracle Morning, the 5 a.m. Club, the Magic of Thinking Big. I can go on and on, man. Reading has definitely been one of the most impactful habits in my life.
Dude, are you familiar with the law of attraction?
Yeah.
That's the Think and Grow Rich is a big fundamental concept behind that, right? The first thing is to think, intention, feel.
Yeah.
What's the most important thing, Miguel, and I'm sure you're going to agree with me on this. I can bet any amount of money. The most important thing of law of attraction that most people miss is the law of taking action.
Yeah.
Right? You should have all the goals. You should have all the intentions. You should have the visualization all the time. You should have a picture of what your goal is in your mind. But until you take action, nothing happens.
That's why I tell people, man, like I totally agree with you on that. And I tell people, because there's a misconception in the world that knowledge is power. And I do not agree that knowledge is power. Implemented knowledge is power. There's a lot of book junkies, and they like knowledge and they read all the time, but they don't implement, and nothing's going to happen until you take massive action, right? And then I started reading a lot of Grant Cardone. So he has the 10x rule and thinking big and taking massive action, and the combination between knowing a little bit more of the mindset and the spiritual side of success, and then putting the time and the work ethic to actually go after what I wanted in life is, I always say that success is a combination between preparation and opportunity, right? So the success comes when you are prepared, the opportunity presents itself. And that combination. So there is a quote that I rule my life by, is from Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn was the mentor of Tony Robbins. And he says
he's the GOAT, OG.
Yeah. So he says that your level of success will never exceed your level of personal development, because success is something that you attract with the person that you become. So when I first realized that if I wanted success in my life, I needed to become the person that deserves to attract the success and all the things that I wanted in my life, I realized that the key of everything is developing myself. Like if I want to increase my success, I have to increase the value that I bring to the world and who I am. And the only way that I can do that is by developing myself. So one of the big advices that one of my mentors gave me one time is, there was a lot of times that we make the mistake of working harder in our job than what we do in ourselves. And I'm not saying don't work hard on your job. Like my work ethic is like really, really high. I work really, really hard, and I believe in working hard. But I also believe in working not only hard on your job, but also on yourself. Because there's only two ways to get results. One of them is quantity, so putting more hours, but the other one is quality, right? So if you keep putting the same hours that you're putting right now, but then you go home and you study and you get better, it means you increase your quality. So when you put the same hours and your quality is higher, your results are going to be higher. Like it's impossible to not get better results if you keep putting the same hours and you're better all the time.
Insane. Wow, that's a lot to unpack there. Oh man. Guys, self-development is, and if you're a new entrepreneur, this is for my listeners, my viewers. If you're a new entrepreneur coming in the game, self-development, as for example, I'm a big follower of Patrick Bet-David. I don't know if you heard of Patrick Bet-David.
Yeah, love him too.
Awesome, love him. He has a thing coming up. You should attend with me in August. I'm gonna go in Miami called the Walt. He has a bunch of entrepreneurs from the roofing, from solar, real estate, finance. Yeah. They come together for 2-3 days to do a big event. Anyways, he talks about how his very similar story to yours. He's from Iran, came to America. He goes, look, I got the 10 best books on entrepreneurship, best books on management, leadership, personality traits, and I studied them. And he worked on himself to this day. And for example, I'll tell you a quick story. I was going to a show last year. A good friend of mine goes, why are you going to go there? Like, you're going to pay how much money? I go, XYZ, it's going to cost me. And she's like, what are you going to do? Like, it's all gimmicks. I go, that's your problem.
Yeah.
That's your problem. You think these shows are gimmicks. I go, why? She goes, well, they tell you stuff and you come home and nothing changes. But nothing changes because you don't change.
Yep.
You have to go take notes, reading a book, take notes, watching a YouTube video like this interview today. I pray to God this interview will change someone's life. We have to take notes and then take action.
Yeah.
And you're gonna fall. You're gonna get hurt. You're gonna make mistakes. But you have to. For example, this channel is only 2 months old, and I wanted to have a perfect studio. I wanted to have everything perfect. And credit to my wife. My wife goes, you know what? Just start it. Call everyone, and you will build as you go. And I'm building my studio. So Miguel, let's go back to you, my friend. So a lot of self-development. 18, come to Orlando.
Before we continue to this,
please.
I just want to highlight something that you
jump in.
Really, really important for your listeners to understand. And I once went to a conference on John Maxwell, and he was talking about the cycle of success. So there's 5 steps on the cycle. The first one is you try something new, right? You're trying something new. The second one is you fail. So it's crazy that you say you're going to fail, because you are going to fail. Every time that you try something new, you're going to fail. But guess what? The third one is you learn from your failures, then you improve, and then you do it again. That's a cycle of success, and you repeat it one time and the other time and the other time. So I think society has created a misconception of what failure actually means in business. I think multiple times we avoid failure, and we fear failure, but we don't realize it's one of the steps to actually go to the next level and succeed. And then I resonate a lot with your studio. Like I was super perfectionist. And then I realized that perfection leads to paralysis, right? Grant Cardone says all the time.
Analysis paralysis.
Massive action is going to delete the small details. Nobody's going to realize the small details as long as you take massive action, and as long as you're committed to improving as you go. So totally agree with you on that. And then with the person that sometimes is criticizing you for developing yourself, one probably is not for your audience. If there's a lot of people not supporting your development, they either don't understand how it works, or second, it's just not the right person or the right people to have in your life. I personally invest in myself multiple 6 figures every year. And a lot of people question why I did what I did. And then I always tell them, like, I am my best investment. There is nothing that is going to give me a better rate of return than myself. And the reason why is because I can control what I do, right? So I have a lot of people that work with me, and they ask me when they start making money, they ask like, Miguel, what can I invest my money in? And there's multiple great investments, right? But I always tell them that they have to first start with investing themselves. That's the first bucket that they have to put money in, because the more valuable that you are, the more money you're going to attract. And once you have more and more money, then you can start diversifying your investments. So I just wanted to, you gave me those ideas, and I just wanted to.
No, thank you for sharing that. That is amazing. Well, now I have a question for you from that topic. Do you have a lot of friends?
No on quantity, but yes on quality. So I do know a lot of people, but what I consider like friends, I it's not a lot of them, but the quality that I have is like people that I will go to work with, like it's family for me. So
Sure.
one of my core values in life, which is one of the core values of my company as well, is loyalty. So I love my friends and I value my friends, but I don't have a lot of them.
Which, by the way, is and the reason I'm asking you that is most entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs, self-made entrepreneurs that I know say the same thing, because energy is it's something that you hold on to. The more people, I'm starting to use this word, more stupid people you have around you, lazy people you have around you, you're giving away your energy, and they'll suck it out of you.
Oh yeah.
You know that, right?
Yeah. Like there's a saying, and you guys probably have heard this multiple times, but it's so true. And it's, you really become the average of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. So and then there's another thing, that's the law of 33% from Tai Lopez. Tai Lopez talks about this, and he says that you can love everyone, but they have to earn your time. Like love is unlimited, but time needs to be earned. John Maxwell says that on leadership. But what Tai Lopez says is the law of 33% is you invest 33% of your time with people that you can help level up,
100%.
because there's a lot of fulfillment with helping people that are like starting in their career, and you're helping them level up. There's 33% of the time that you invest with people that are in your same page, right? That are holding you accountable, that are on the same page, working at the same pace. And then you invest 33% of your time with people that are ahead of you, so you can stay motivated and you can learn and you can improve with them. So that was really valuable for me. Especially there was a lot of times that friends and family are people that you love and that you can continue loving, but sometimes we have to make the hard decisions to not spend a lot of time with them. And here's the key: is not because of you. Like that's not a selfish because of you, it's because of them. Because if you become your best self, they're gonna see the best version of you. Like if you become successful, they're gonna see the benefits of you becoming successful, because now you can help them. And the key here is that you can't give anything that you don't have, right? So first you have to be full yourself, you have to be stable financially, emotionally, spiritually, physically, and then you can go give to people. But there's a lot of times that we don't make those tough decisions and we can't become our best self. And if you're not your best self, instead of serving them, you're doing them a disservice.
That's profound. One of my mentors, Alex Rodriguez, and Azul Tech company in Miami startup I used to work for. He's the CEO, founder. He was giving me some advice one day. I was working for him for years ago. He goes, listen, and when you're in a plane, you're in an airplane, they tell you first, or if something happens, to put the mask on yourself, and then turn around and put on the second person next to you, your wife, your husband, kids, your mom, your dad, girlfriend. And that's so profound. And that's what you said right now. You have to be fulfilled yourself before you can pull in anyone else's cup.
Yeah, 100%.
So when you came 18 years old, you started school, you realized, you know what, man, EA is good, but BA, more money, my time. You say, you know what, I'm gonna step out of school. How did solar come into your life?
Yeah. So While I was doing the school, I was working at the same time. So that's the thing that I was doing the school. I'm a really good student, so I was handling the school well. At the same time, I was studying myself. So there's a saying that says that regular school is gonna pay your bills, but personal development is gonna create wealth. And I was developing myself personally. I was taking finance courses outside of a school. I was working, so I got into the insurance industry. So I was selling insurance, right? So that was my first sales job. I developed a lot of communication skills, really good relationships, a lot of discipline, mindset, recruiting, prospecting. Learned a lot, and then I went to the timeshare industry, right? So I got into real estate a little bit. I got my real estate license. I did network marketing before, right? So I believe network marketing is amazing because you learn leadership, you learn sales, you learn recruiting, you learn time management, personal development. So I did a lot. I tried a lot of things to see what resonated with me. And then solar came into my life, funny enough, in a personal development event, right? So I went to a Tony Robbins event, and I met a guy that owned a solar company at that event. He was a Colombian guy. That was the first time that I heard about solar. And he started telling me about solar. I was selling timeshare at the time, doing well. And I was wearing a suit, like in timeshare, they were bringing the clients to me. I was comfortable. And then these guys was talking about like going to Florida weather, summertime, and knocking on people's doors. And I was like, hey, there's no way that I'm doing that. So it took me a little bit of time to realize the opportunity. And then I started doing my research. And I realized how good the industry was and how good the deal was for customers. And I was like, there has to be a catch. Like, this can't be too good. It's too good to be true, man. So it wasn't too good to be true. That was just the reality of the industry. And I was pretty convinced. And I started a company with a couple of my friends, and we started a team, and we grew that team. And then it was time for me to, just take it to the next level and do my own thing. And I created Sunbright after. In 2020, I created Sunbright. And it's been a blessing, man. We have grown a lot in 3 years, with an amazing team behind me. Obviously, there's I couldn't be where I am without my team.
You have a partner? You have any partners involved, or just you?
No, so it's just me. I started Sunbright myself, knocking on doors, selling myself, and then living way below my means and reinvesting all the money into the company. And again, attracting the right people. I believe in the law of attraction. So I had a vision, and I had a work ethic, and I started attracting the right people and paying a lot of mentorships and learning about the industry. And I was fully committed. And yeah, man, it was awesome. Like the first year, in 6 months, I think we did like 12 million in sales. That was 2020, 2021. We did like 28, 2022. We did 49 point something, so almost 50 million in sales. And the goal this year is to double that again, get to the $100 million in sales. So again, I don't say like number of sales to just brag about what we do, but I don't believe it's the money. Is I believe it's who you become in the process and the impact that we're making in people's lives. And that's what really makes me happy, and what really gives me fulfillment. And we're also part of a lot of nonprofit organizations.
That's
So
awesome.
for every installation that we do, we donate a portion to a lot of
Oh,
nonprofits. And I not only believe in giving money, but also giving time and
yes.
energy. So last year to Colombia, actually, one of my dreams was to go back to Colombia and help my people. And we went to ḥě̌ř, Colombia, which is like a poor place of Colombia. Like, they don't have water, no electricity, no food. Like, it's like a forgotten place in the country. And we went there, and we slept in hammocks for 2 days, and no water, no electricity. And we brought a ton of food and toys to kids, and just give them hope, and bring a message that there's people on the other side of the world that actually care about them. And
That's
Yeah, that's
insane.
a little bit about what I do.
So 2020 COVID started,
Yeah.
right? So let's go back 1 second. March of, I don't know, March 5th, March 6th, they said COVID came. Or mid-March, right? Was it
Yeah.
before COVID or was it after COVID? Sunbright came.
It was at the same time, so we started when COVID started. So that was another challenge, right? Because there was a period of time where we couldn't knock on people's doors. So we started doing a lot of online marketing. So I started doing ads and doing a lot of Zoom presentations. I believe that pressure is a privilege, and when you have your back against the wall, that brings a lot of resourcefulness and creativity. So we had to figure out and we did, and then we scaled that side of the company. And when COVID was a little bit better, we started knocking doors again, and it was awesome because people wanted to save money on their bills because they were at home all the time, high bills and no work. So they were pretty happy about seeing a different option.
That's so wow, man. That's 2020. Zoom's probably insane. You do online marketing. You found a way to come around, right? So 2020 started the company. How'd you end the year? How many sales or?
Yes, we calculated based on the amount of sales. I think 2020 was like, I'll lie if I tell like a specific number, but it was like 10 million in sales.
Okay.
And that was mainly me and like one more person doing it. Again, like I filled every single role in the company, knocking, closing, doing everything in the beginning. And then I started developing a team and hiring people and growing from there.
Did you have an office?
Not in the beginning. No, I didn't have an office in the beginning. Then we started renting a co-working space a couple of times a week. Just a conference room, of a co-working space to run meetings with the team. Then I went to another co-working space and actually got a small office. And then they had a really cool conference room for meetings with my team. We did meetings 3 times. Then we moved to like our own office. It was an 1,800 square feet office, and then this year we moved to a 4,000 square feet office. That like that's just keep growing. And yeah, that we didn't have an office in the beginning.
So year 1 is you and one other person. Year 2, 2021, how big did the team become?
I will tell you, it was about 15 to 20 people in 2021.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I think so.
How about sales? About 30% increase, maybe?
Yeah, no, more than that. So in 2021, we closed with I think it was 28 million in sales. Yeah.
Wow.
So we more than doubled the number of sales. And then in 2022, we did like 49.8, so almost 50 in sales. Yeah, so we didn't double, but we did a good job. And then this year is on pace to be better.
Beautiful. God is great. God is amazing.
Yeah.
How many people did you have in a year? So number year 1, 2 people. Year 2, you said about 20. Year 3 was how many on your team?
So 2022, it was about 45 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
And mostly sales staff? Is the sales
Yeah,
support?
so that's sales. If you include other people, it's a little
Admin,
bit
back office.
Exactly. Yeah, it's more operations and marketing, and but sales only was about 45 people, and now we're about 60. But then we have a virtual team as well. So we have teams in Colombia, we have people in Mexico, we have people in operations as well. So if you include like everyone that's involved with partners and people, it's probably about 90 people, including admin, operations, marketing.
Wow. Miguel, God bless you, my friend. I mean, this is story, ladies and gentlemen. I think, let me think for 1 second. I think you are the youngest guest on my show.
Good.
Oh my God, I think you have the milestone. You have killed it. You're the youngest guy on my show, guys, that you have changed, have obtained the type of level of success you have gotten. Listen, man, let me ask you a question. You're rich, you're good looking, Colombian. Why are you so nice? Why are you so humble, man? You know, you could be an asshole now, pardon my language. You could be, you know, your nose could be in the sky. You could be like, you know what, my shit don't stink, man. I got the money, I got a company, you know, fuck y'all. Why don't you do that?
It's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Say it one more time.
It's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. And I don't think money defines who I am. You know, like my identity is not the money that I have for the company or the results. I am Miguel, you know, and money just made me more of who I am. I'm nice. I want to help people. I want to help the world. I'm not perfect. I have a lot of flaws and a lot of you know, things to get better on, but I'm very aware of my areas of improvement. I'm very open to feedback, and I'm obsessed with becoming my best self, you know, and I do it because I love people and because I know I have a purpose that God has given me, and I have a message that he's utilizing me to bring a message to a lot of people, you know. So when I feel that sense of purpose and I see the impact that I'm making, not only on the people here, but on the people on the other side of the world, and every single donation that we make, that's what really fulfills me, and you will never let me stop. Like, there's not an amount of money that you can give me that will make me stop. I don't do it for the money anymore, and I don't think there's also any amount of money that you can give me that will make me be an asshole. Like, that's just not who I am. That's not my identity.
You know, a lot of people say that and they become it. And if something happened, they go back, right, to being humble. You have a girlfriend?
I do.
Okay. How many?
No, only one.
The reason I'm saying that, ladies and gentlemen, look, I was born and raised in New York. I lived 20 years in Miami, Florida. Miguel, and if you are as successful as you are, young as you are, and a handsome man as you are, and you live in Miami, you would probably have 10 girlfriends, probably. You know what I mean? But it doesn't matter if you're in Miami or Orlando or wherever you are. The discipline and to be a loyal person and focus, right?
Yeah.
How did that work for you? Oh, sorry, can you say something?
No.
How does a relationship work for you? Like,
Yeah.
I know another friend of Juan's, we probably know him. I forgot his name. I think he has insurance business. Anyway, he's single, he's a young guy too. He's like, you know what? I have no time to have a relationship. How did that work for you?
Yeah, so it's funny that you asked me that, because in the beginning of my business, I was super focused on my business, and I think that was a blessing as well, that I had all the time, attention, and focus. My family was not here. I was single as well, and I could have spent a lot of time just doing things, you know, like fun, partying, and again, I had a higher purpose. Not to tell you that I didn't have fun or didn't party, like I did, but I'm the kind of guy that if I give myself something, I need to be even more committed to what I say I'm gonna do, right? So if I tell you I'm gonna go and do this, like, and then I go decide party, like, I'm even more committed to what I told you I was gonna do. So I think that so my girlfriend now, she came to my life, I think God, again, the perfect timing, because I was finally the man that was ready for a woman like her, like she is. And something that's very important, it's not easy to be with me. Again, a lot of my time, responsibility, it goes to the world and the company and the purpose. But I'm so fortunate that we are in the same page, we are in the same vision. She loves personal development. We have the same spiritual beliefs. She loves her family. Like she knows who she is. Like it's I believe a happy relationship is just two happy people, man. And she was already successful and happy when I met her, and I was already successful and happy when she met me. And it was like, let's get together and let's have a vision and let's create an empire together and let's help a lot of people. And we know that we're not a normal relationship and we have to make sacrifices multiple times, but I don't see them as sacrifices. I see them as an investment in the future.
That's what, is she a professional too?
Yeah, so she actually works with me. She's in sales, so she was really successful in car sales, like number one, 30 cars a month, like insane. She was really good. And then she started selling solar as well virtually. So she's one of the leaders of our virtual team. And that's another challenge, right? Like working with your significant other can be challenging as well. My mom works with me, my dad works with me, she works with me, my best friend works with me. So it's been a blessing because I think just the vision that God gave us is just so big that helped me attract the people that I most love in my life.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's how long you guys been together for?
It's gonna be almost 2 years.
Do you know distractions, man? You travel for work at all? Do you travel?
I do a lot.
Okay. Like where? US or Colombia or South America or?
No, not really. I travel within the state a
Okay.
lot every month. I go to a lot of conferences as well. Again, personal development is very
Key.
important for me. We do sometimes incentives with our team, so we set a target and we hit the target and we travel, you know. So I think business, like fun, is very important too, man. It's important to have fun. It's important to work with people that you want to do life with. That's one of the things that my mentors tell me all the time. Like, Miguel, I work with people that I want to do life with, and we do the same thing, you know. So we work really hard, but we also have fun, and we grow together as a team.
I was really gonna ask you if traveling, man, a beautiful girl pops up, says, "Hi, Miguel. I'm so and so. My name is Lisa. Hi, I'm Maria." Like, you have like, tell me, like, don't you get distracted? Like, there's so many beautiful girls in Florida,
Yeah, yeah.
Tampa, Miami. Come on, man. You don't ever get to, like, wait a minute, I have the money. Like, how do you keep yourself in check?
Again, I think it's the alignment, man.
Alignment. Wow. Keyword alignment.
Yeah, it's just the alignment and the vision. Like I no longer get distracted just by a physical appearance, you know, and I'm happy. Like Carla is like my other half, is like me in the same mindset, same vision, same purpose. And I told you loyalty is one of the core values of my life, right? So um it's just alignment with who I am and my identity and my beliefs and my values as a person.
Wow.
And again, the purpose, like the vision and the purpose that I have is so important that if like again, it's I'm not telling you that I don't get distracted with like there's a lot of people that confuse productivity with being busy, right? So sometimes I get busy and I'm not being productive. So it's just normal to sometimes get distracted in things that you shouldn't be doing, but not the kind of things that I know but for a fact that it's not correct.
That's amazing.
So yeah, I don't know, man. I think I'm an old soul.
Yes, you are also. I can tell you that.
So like I think I'm 23, but for some reason I already know within myself what's good and what's not good, and I don't have to go test stuff. So everyone has a different path, right? That was mine. I just knew the inside of me what was good and what wasn't good, and I have a purpose and a vision that it's way more important than any single distraction that you can put in front of me.
The focus, the vision, is crystal clear for you. And my audience members that are listening and watching this right now, take notes. When your vision is crystal clear and you see it every day, you know, whatever you do, visualize, you have a vision board on the back of your office, or you have a picture, it would keep you aligned and keep you out of trouble.
Yeah.
That's something that's been, for me, I've been married for 13 years now, almost 14, I think. Same girl I've been with for many years. You know, I have had a lot of success, up and down, but a lot of success. I've traveled, but that's the one thing that I have. It's like, and like just like yourself, I have found the perfect soulmate for myself.
Yeah.
Same mindset, same vision, entrepreneurship, hustle. And you know, and I think for all entrepreneurs, if you're looking for a husband or wife, make sure take your time and know who you are. Until you know who you are, you cannot find another person to match you.
100%.
Right?
100%.
Yeah. Miguel, amazing interview. I want to get into the last component, if you will.
Yeah.
When we were talking before we went live, you're like, hey, yeah, I'm into Sunday. You know, I spend time with my family, and I'm also planning for the week. I'm finding you say that. One of my best friends, also a guest on my show, 녕ሔር, he's local, and we'll do a dinner with you and him, us together. We should connect. He's up in Orlando, in Longwood. He said the same thing. On Sundays, he goes to the office and he gives it 3 to 4 hours. He sits there, and I'm like, dude, I used to call him, hey, let's go do something on Sunday. Hey, where are you? He goes, dude, I'm in the office. And he's been doing this for more than 10 years. He's super successful.
Wow.
And I started doing it to myself. For me, you should not plan your day the night before, the week before. How about you? How do you go into your week? To share with my audience some golden nuggets.
Same thing, man. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Like, I have religiously developed a habit in my life where every Sunday I have an appointment with myself. Like, it is an appointment with myself. It's time reserved in my calendar. Like, I do it religiously, and I do something that's called Sunday planning. So I obviously learned this from multiple of my mentors, and I go through a process of, you know, a little bit of meditation, journaling, what I'm grateful for, my intentions, the wins of my week, what I learned in the week. I journal, and then I do action items. Like, what am I gonna get done personally and professionally, and then professionally, what areas of the company. And then I go to my calendar and I start putting every single thing that I need to get done in my calendar. I live by my calendar. Like, if it's not in my calendar, it's not gonna get done, right? So I time block, starting on Sunday, intentionally what I'm gonna get done, and then I do my best to review my day at the end of the day and plan my next day. I'm obsessed with my time. It's hour by hour I plan it. What time I wake up, but like, even driving time. I know in driving time I turn my car into an university. I never listen to music. I always listen to audiobooks or podcasts, like things that can add to my life. So even the time that I'm driving, I have a plan. Like, I know what's going to happen before it happens. And then it's not like I'm also flexible as well, right? Like, if something comes up and I have to act quick, right? I know how to pivot and adapt to whatever it's happening. But I have a plan. I have a plan before, and that's what's important. Because what was happening to me before is I finished a meeting and I was like, okay, now what? So there's a lot of people that when they go to a position like the ones that we have, where we have to manage our own time, they like it because they see that there is freedom. But then if you don't manage your time well, you're going to lose your financial freedom, because you're not going to make money if you don't manage your time well, right? So I always say that freedom is on the other side of discipline. And planning has been huge for helping me with discipline, because when most people get to Monday morning to think what they're gonna do in the week, I'm taking action. Like, I'm executing and getting momentum. So the power of momentum is huge as well.
That's insane, man. That's wow. So you planning this Sunday before? Okay. So how about your morning? What time do you wake up?
I do my best to wake up as early as I can. I do have a virtual team that in California, so there's a lot of times that I have to stay in
Up
see
late night.
California time, which is going to be later. So it just depends. But most of the time, 6 a.m. I'm still developing this. I'm not perfect at this, right? But this is still work in progress. I love doing something that's called the miracle morning. So it says savers, right? So it's describing, which is journaling, affirmations, visualization, exercise, reading, and what was the last one? Silence, so meditation. Those are like a bulletproof morning routine. And it's only like 10 minutes each. You just have to be intentional. And I was actually journaling today, and I highlighted the importance of doing this every morning, because as a leader and as a business owner, there's a lot of energy that I give out to the world and to people. And if I don't put that energy first in myself and take time for me in the beginning, I'm not giving them my best self, right? So again, I'm selfish with my time, the time that I have to take with me, but not because I want to, it's only for me. No, it's because I'm selfish, because I know that when I become my best version, I can give the best to the people. So it's always with the mindset of giving, not like taking, but it's actually with the mindset of giving.
Yes. Oh, wow. You're always giving value.
Yeah.
And in all areas of your life, you want to give value.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and at the end of the day, man, I think that in leadership, like, there's only two things that you can give people. You can give them an example, and you can give them an opportunity. Um, and again, I have to lead by example, right? In multiple areas in my life. In the 5 areas of life, I want to be my best self, so I can be an inspiration and an example to my people. And then I give them an opportunity, to help them get better. Yeah.
You have a person named George. I think he's brother-in-law of Edison Moreno. Oh, on your team. Let me see what his name. Chinier's brother.
Oh, Diego.
Diego. Sorry, Diego. My bad.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, I love Dieguito. Yeah.
he's a good. I met him 2 times. He couldn't speak. He was right next to me, asking so many questions. I'm like, buddy, if you keep the focus of what you're doing right now, the sky is the limit for you. But he's such a beautiful soul, and he's so much to offer.
Yeah, 100%, man.
He talks about you with such great admiration. Miguel, you're amazing, brother. You came so much value today. You and I have been trying to do this for a few months now, and I appreciate your patience. I appreciate you taking busy time out of your Sunday with your family and your loved one to give me this time. I'm going to do a part 2 with you in person once my office is set up.
Of course.
We'll do a face-to-face, and then I have other things I want to talk to you about, maybe doing a mastermind down the road. I think your story, I know your story is for the masses. People across the globe should share your story, because I think, again, I know that you can change your life, people's life. And the way I do it, Miguel, I mean, my goal is I change one person's life, or even a little bit of direction in a person's life. I know that I'm good with God.
Uh-huh.
You know what I
Amen.
mean?
Yep.
So, brother, I love you. Thank you for everything.
Thank you.
Where can we find you?
Yeah, it's mainly social media. So Instagram is mainly where I'm most active in. It's Miguel Angel WT. So Miguel.
I'll put it in the description for my audience members. So IG is the perfect place to find you.
Yep. So
Awesome.
Miguel Wilches, and then my username is Miguel Angel WT. That's the best way that you can find me. And again, if you have any questions or anything, as I told you in the beginning, I'm an open book, man. Anything that you can ask me, anything that I can help with, that's what I'm here for.
Before I let you go, one last question. It's right here. Do something that you have right now, that you have in your reality right now, Was it something you had back then on your vision board, your goal, on your vision? Like say, hey, I'm gonna get myself a purple Lamborghini. It's not anything. Did you manifest that you had thought about back then? Anything example you can give?
Yeah. The trip that I told you that I went back to Colombia, something that I had in my heart for a long time. And it was so happy and so emotional to see that. You know, I had the privilege and the opportunity to go back. Not only me, but I took 15 people with me that most of them have never seen the situation that other people live on the other side of the world. So it was not only an impact for the people in Colombia, but an impact for my team, a sense of more gratitude for everything that we have, and you know, water, light, everything. It's a blessing, right? So that's one of the things that there's a lot of things, man. Like God has been great with me, and the vision that he gave me, like I'm living the life that I had imagined one day, sooner than what I thought it will be. And I know there's a reason why, like with him. So again, like I'm super spiritually aligned, as you can notice, and I think that's I don't know how I will handle pressure and stress and everything else if it wasn't for, I know everything happens for me, not to me, and I know there's a higher plan, and I just surrender and have faith.
I think people mistake religion and spirituality sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, I consider myself to be spiritual. I'm a Muslim. I respect Christian, Jewish, Hindu. I think all our religions are the same. The same stories told in a different way. That's my belief, right? We're all brothers and sisters. But I feel we co-create our reality with the higher power.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's a relation, not necessarily a religion, right? So it's just the relation that you have with your higher self, and everyone has something different that they believe in, and that's okay, as long as it's very important in business, man. I think that being aligned spiritually is very, very important in business. So yeah, that's a recommendation that I can give the audience as well.
So I heard you're gonna retire this year. You're gonna go and retire and get a Ferrari and go to Miami Beach.
No, again, that's not what fulfills me, right? So again, like, I don't get me wrong, there's a lot of things that I do. I have fun, I travel, I have nice things, but I don't work for the money anymore. I have a lot of purpose behind what I do. And money is amazing, like, don't get me wrong, like I like the money, and I think it makes me more of who I am, and it gives me opportunities. It's just not the end goal, right? So
it's a tool. Yeah. It's a tool. That's all it is. It's a tool. And people that say that rich people are evil, rich people are this, they have a bad belief system about money.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. I actually went to a conference one time that success something, I don't know, just helps change the beliefs that you have been told your whole life about money, and you change the relationship that you have with money. Because if not, then you will not attract it. Your subconscious mind is always going to reject something.
Push it away. Yep. If you think of it, text me that conference name, and I'm gonna send you Patrick Bet-David's conference coming up. I think it'd be great. It's not motivation, it's more practical business concepts for all businesses. So I'll send it to you too, buddy. Once again, Miguel, love you, brother. You're awesome. Man, God bless you. For you, buddy. I know your company name's Sunbright. Yeah. I know the future is super bright for you. You're on a mission, and you know what? And God bless you, my friend. Thank you for jumping on today, man.
Yeah, it was an honor, man. Congratulations on the podcast, and your story is very, very inspirational as well. And I love the name, Stroke of Success. You know.
Thank you so much. Yes, my friend. Awesome. We'll be in touch, man.
Will do. Thank you.
Thank you.